I will share with you 5 principles of coaching that I wish I knew when I started my soccer coaching career. Number one, get to know yourself. Very simple. Most times we ignore this as beginner coaches. But after 20 years and looking back at what I did when I started coaching, I realized that instead of looking outside of myself, I should have looked inwards and see what I was already doing well and the things that I could improve. Now, it didn't take me long to realize this. I think after my first season, I was able to sort of take a stock of what I was, and I was able to change a few things. Why is this important? Because a lot of times we tend to do what famous coaches or other coaches or somebody else is doing. By doing this, although it's well intended, we end up not addressing what our team needs. What I'm saying is that if you already have some playing careers, some coaching careers, some leadership, something that you already do well, start working on that and keep that. And perhaps look at the things that you are not doing well or need more work on. Maybe you're not doing it as well, and then work on those things. For me, I had already played soccer my whole life. I had already studied physical education. I was a high school teacher. So I had a pretty good communication skills and organizational skills, but I needed to address being more specific. When I was coaching something, I needed to make sure that I kept that thread throughout the practice as opposed to just throw random things that I just picked up on a YouTube channel or a book or a training manual. So the first thing I did after my first season, I went and got a coaching license through the United States Soccer Federation. This license helped me to focus my efforts into specific things that my team needed, as opposed to just throw a blanket things of doing just for the sake of doing it. So I was able to better address our weak spots, better address areas that I thought that we needed to be better at. And for me was defense. And I did all these things with things that I already knew, but it came from that coaching license where I was able to organize my practices and I was able to better do team talks, how to better work with the team at the halftime, how to better prepare my team for games, and how to better adjust during games. Why is getting to know yourself important? Because the more aligned you are with the things that you believe that with what you do, the better your teams are going to respond. But let's say I believe that we should attack, but I have my teams defending all the time. What if I believe that we should defend all the time, but I just send my things forward without no plan on how to defend? It's kind of, I'm contradicting what I believe versus what I'm doing. So what you're trying to do with this process of getting to know yourself is aligning yourself on the things you believe and the things you do. And is sometimes you might not need a lot of tweaking, but just doing the things that you need to do the most. In my case, was to just learn how to really organize my practices, my games, my pre-game, my halftime, what to coach, what to adjust during the middle, as opposed to just sort of doing things for doing things. You're gonna feel better about how things are working, and your teams are gonna grow really quick and develop really quick. So this is why it's important to really getting to know yourself. Easiest way is write a list of the things that you do well and write a list of the things that you need to work on, and see which of those things your players are already doing, and see which of those things they are not doing, and bring back to that to yourself and say, okay, so my players are not doing this. Before I blame them, so before I ask them, hey, go do that, I need to make sure that I'm teaching it in the training grounds, make sure that I'm teaching it conceptually and working on it day in and day out. So once we go to the game, it's really easy for them to understand, for them to execute, and for us to have a common language that we can work off of, that we can build on. So that's why it's important to get to know yourself as a coach, so you can better align what the things that you believe with the things that you're doing, your players are gonna love you for it, and they are gonna keep coming back. They already love the game, but they keep coming back because of you, because how easy they're able to learn and flow and be themselves and grow within your team. So they appreciate that. Now it's time for you to set a team philosophy. You can divide this in two parts: a working philosophy, just a more a structure of why the team exists, and the other one has to do with how we play, or a playing style or playing philosophy. So the first thing that you need to start with that philosophy is have a mission. So the mission just tells exactly why are we here. So for us was to be the best version of ourselves in and out of the field, and to make our community proud. So you might ask, well, that doesn't include winning in your team. Well, it does. If we are being the best version of ourselves day in and day out, chances are that we're gonna win things. And trust me, you are gonna win things. And also to make our community proud. So anything that we did was not just for us, but what it was for an entire community. Now, this might take a little bit for you to develop, but it's start somewhere and actually put it on paper so everybody can see it. So that way your actions always lead to that. Number two, set some values for the team. What are the things that the team is gonna value as a collective? For us, we're three. Number one was to show up for you and for your teammates, for the coaches, for the community, for everybody. Two is to listen, which is to pay attention, to be present, to be there. Three was to simply do your best. If we were doing these three things, showing up, listening, and doing our best, that meant that there was nothing for us to feel bad about. We were giving our best efforts at all times. The final one, it has to do with playing. For us, what's really simple is to be organized when defending and to be aggressive when attacking. It sounds simple, but there was a lot of work that had to be done in order for us to be very organized and intentional when defending, and also be very aggressive and have specific targets when we were attacking. So nothing was happening by chance. We knew exactly how to defend well and knew exactly what needed to happen when going forward. Very simple. So that was the philosophy of the team: having a clear mission, having values, having a specific style of playing that we all could understand and be aware of at all times. So that's it. That's the philosophy. The next aspect is learning how to coach the person first and then the athlete. In other words, learn how to value the human being that you have in front of you, and then coach the athlete or player. So what I'm trying to say is that whoever is in your team already has some intrinsic value because of who they are. But a lot of times, a lot of athletes, players, people, they relate the performance in the sport they practice with their self-worth. So that's why some players, they start really well when they're little, and the moment they start struggling and they don't perform well, they start feeling bad about themselves, and eventually they start hating that sport. Not because they're bad, not because they haven't grown, because they relate their performance with their self-value or their self-worth or their confidence. So how do we teach somebody that they are worthy or they're valuable just because they are, and whether we win or not, whether we lose or not, whether we score a goal or not score a goal, that has nothing to do with our self-worth. Sport is something that we do for our joy, for our passion, for our growth, for development, for being part of something bigger than ourselves. So how do we teach a human, a person, to process all these things of self-worth and continue to grow and develop? Well, to know the distinction between feelings and emotions. 2 is to understand when I'm experiencing those feelings and emotions, have a clear understanding of what's happening with me. And 3, have the ability to bring myself back to the present moment. That's simple. So feelings are tricky. Emotions come and go. Okay, I experience something. I have this an emotion that, whether it's happiness or fear or joy, it just comes in and out. Feelings take a little longer. They actually stay with you, and their feelings have this kind of companion, which is thoughts. We keep thinking about these things that happened in the past or that will happen in the future. So therefore we live in anxiety or we live in fear. So feelings are a little tricky, but the mechanism is the same for us to learn to let them go. 1 is to know what we're dealing with. 2 is understand that they are temporary and that they don't represent us. They don't, just because I'm feeling this way, that doesn't mean I am my feelings or I am my emotions. No, I'm not those things. Those things come and go. And the mechanism to let them go is not to push them away, but rather be aware of them and bring myself to the present moment. Meaning, what's in front of me, that's what I need to be dealing with right now. For an athlete, that's being present in the next ball and not worry about what's going to happen in the future. Let go of the mistake, let go of what happened, and just continue to focus on the task at hand. And this applies for everybody as well. Outside the field, it's the same too. Just in relationships, in life, in school, in jobs, the same thing. Just focusing the present moment, just being aware of how you're feeling. You're human. We're allowed to feel it. Don't push it away. Be aware of what you're feeling and focus on the present moment, because that's the only thing that we have. Now, if you continue to focus on the past, we're not gonna be free when we arrive at the present moment. You want your athletes to play free of the past, of failures, or whatever, and to be free of the future, of anxiety, what's going to happen in the future. You want them to focus in the now. And that's something that needs to be repeated or worked on over and over and over and over until it becomes normal in any person. So that's the mechanism that we use for dealing with feelings and emotions, because athletes perform their best when they feel, as people, as human beings, they feel free from burdens, like in the past or the future. Principle number 4, outline team and individual goals for the season. Goals need to be communicated to the team at all times so we can constantly assess if we're making progress towards accomplishing those goals. What does that mean? If our actions or practices, the way we're behaving in a day-to-day, week by week, are actually leading us to accomplish those goals. So that's why it's important to measure a few things. I'm going to just give you what I see is relevant and a few things that perhaps are going to help you the most. So as a team, as a collective, the things that I want to measure throughout the season are: we want to win all our games at home, number 1. Number 2, qualify to playoffs. So that was where in the ranking doesn't matter. We need to qualify to playoffs, or win our region or our section. So again, it's a little just more specific than just qualifying to playoffs. Now you're winning your region or section. 3, have a winning season. So which means that overall you've won most of your games and obviously lost very little or no games. And finally, win a state championship. So those are my 5 goals that I want to be measured as a collective for the next season. Individually, I want my players to win their challenges, also make accurate passes, measure that. Individually, they need to win their challenges, make sure that every pass they give, they see if they give it back, if they give it away, or they throw it out. They need to measure that. 3 is support their teammates. If their teammate gets beat, whether they're in support them, that can be verbally or physically. They're there for them. 4 is that every time they actually lose the ball, they run back, or every time that they get beat, or every time that they also get beat, somebody dribbles around them, they also go back. Finally, for the goalkeeper is to not allow any goals. So during matches, I measure shots to goal and shots on target. Meaning to goal, they can go anywhere, but the intention was to shoot him on target, but they just went anywhere, and on target. And also how many shots we allow, and also how many shots went to goal. Why those two things? Very simple. It tells you exactly whether your team is producing enough offense to create shots, and it tells you how well your defense is being at defending your goal. That means that it tells you whether what you're doing in the training ground leads to create more shots and win games and defend your goal really well. Very simple. Now, during season, you also need to look at your wins and losses and how many goals are you score and how many goals are allowed. Those are my two biggest things that I look at. I don't really pay much attention to possession because that sometimes can be misleading. Finally, the last thing that I measure as soon as my season was wrapped up is how many of the tournaments that we participated in. We usually participating in a preseason tournament before everything started. We participate in a tournament. In the middle of the season, we participate in another tournament, and during playoff, which is a championship tournament, I will look at of the three, how many of those three we were able to put ourselves in a position to win the tournament or the championship or the section or whatever it is that we were in. If out of the three we're part of two, that's pretty good. If we're part of three, then we're top. If you're winning, any of those, you're doing really well. So you need to look at specific things depending on where your team is at, but you need to measure something. The sooner you start doing that, the better, because you're gonna be able to see if you're improving or not, and you're gonna be able to see whether what you're doing on the field during practice is leading towards you performing well. Principle number 5, and the last thing that I want to touch here, is to have a set of expectations or standards for your team. They don't need to be complicated. It can be easy, but something that you can communicate to anyone at any time and they understand really well. I have 5 that I used, and these are the 5 that work for me. Number 1 is respect each other both ways. 2, show up to practices, prepare and on time. 3 is be present, give everybody your whole attention. Number 4, this one was more for me to them, but they could use it amongst each other all the time, is to give honest, precise, and timely feedback to each other. But this was also from me to them and from them to me. Honest meaning that we're just being honest. We're not trying to make anybody feel bad. Precise, that it was something specific. It was in general. And last but not timely, meaning that we said it when it applied, not a week from now, 3 weeks from now, or 2 months ago. So very timely. As it's happening, we do it. Last but not least, work hard and have fun.